Welcome to the Calzone, Ben and Brian. I have been dealing with a lot of buyers lately who are kind of all over the map. Where to buy, what my budget is. And I think it all comes down to them being on the fence of if it's the right time to buy and maybe narrowing down the buying process, right? Or figuring out the buying process. So what I want to do is put together like a 3 or 4 part series about the buying process.
Yeah.
Is it a good time for me to buy, right? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I want to dive into. Mm-hmm. The first part about this is obviously finances. I got to imagine, right?
Yeah.
Is it the right time for me to buy a house? Is it the right time for me to continue to rent? Is it the right time, for me to move back into mom and dad's house and save some money to buy, right?
Yeah.
Who knows? But let's dive into the pre-qual process, because that's kind of where a lot of my buyers or potential buyers have kind of got hung up at.
Yeah.
Am I ready to buy? I'm scared to talk to a lender. Money's a tough topic to talk about with a lot of people, and I'm sure you go through that a lot, Brian.
100%.
But as far as a pre-qual goes, mm-hmm. What are you looking for? Docs, FICO score, savings.
Right.
What are we looking for?
Cool. So the first part of that question to get those buyers off of the fence or allow them to make the decision is, can I buy? And that's why you go and talk to the lender. And we do the pre-approval process. So in that pre-approval process, it's a 10 to 15 minute conversation to get a feel for where everything's at so we can ask for the correct documentation. Then we'll send the application to the buyer. It takes another 10 to 15 minutes to fill it out. And it'll prompt them to upload the documentation that we've asked for. So if you're a W-2 employee, we're going to need pay stubs, W-2s, bank statements. And the big part that people do get hung up on is, I don't have enough money to buy a home because it's expensive. There are programs out there that allow people to waive some of the fees. There are DPA programs out there.
Down payment assistance.
Down payment assistance. There are down payment assistance programs that can cover a 3.5% down payment for a borrower. So it's not something.
And honestly, I don't even want to talk about that. I want to see if it's a good time for me to buy. Let's just talk DTI. Let's talk debt to income ratio, because what you're going to be looking at is your monthly spend and your monthly income.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. So on a conventional loan, or really any loan, if you have, let's say you make $5,000 a month before anything's taken out, taxes, retirement, anything, $5,000 a month, we can use $2,500 to pay for your bills. So your car, credit card, student loans, the rest can go to your housing payment. That's
50.
Yeah. Of the 50%, so right, if it's $2,500 and your car's $300 and you don't have student loans and one credit card for $100, we have $2,100 left for your mortgage payment.
Mm-hmm. What's the breakdown of that $2,100? Isn't it like $50 for every $10,000, or there was some quick math?
Yeah, it's about $60 per $10,000 right now.
$60 for every $10,000. Yeah, that helps.
I think so too. Yeah. And I think that's huge, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there making $5,000 a month.
Yeah.
What are you paying for rent right now? Is it above $2,000? Most likely, yeah. Dude. In this market, what? In this economy? Well,
it's not even the market; it's the price range,
right?
Right.
Yeah. And so that's a pretty good rule of thumb, right? Like you can spend almost half of your money that you make a month on a mortgage payment. Do we recommend it? I don't know. Didn't it used to be like 30% or something like that?
It was 43% for a long time. They had it for down to like, I think 38 was where it bottomed out. But really, it comes down to the underwriting guidelines versus what's best for that person, right? So we're going to talk about their budget and say, okay, where are you comfortable at? Well, here is what you qualify for versus where you're comfortable at. And then it's something for them to decide for themselves. Right. Is it time to buy?
So we've got, if you're making $5,000, let's just take this make-believe person who's making $5,000 a month. he can spend up to $22,000, let's call it, on a mortgage per month.
2,200.
2,200. Jeez, we're buying a big house, bro.
22K.
You shopping in the wrong town.
He's long-term renting an Airbnb.
He can spend $2,200 a month on on his mortgage.
Yeah.
What's his FICO score need to be?
You can go as low as 580. We would love to see people above 620.
Right.
To take advantage of some of the special programs, you hit like 640. But a lot of the times, it's really easy to get those credit scores up. Right. A lot of times we have programs that we run and say, how do I maximize this person's credit score? And it takes 5 minutes, and we say, okay, well, if I pay this credit card down, this credit card off, and take care of this medical collection, what's it going to do?
Right.
And we can do that in a matter of about a week and a half.
Right.
I don't want to give a plug right now, but I've used with clients in the past. I've used Continental Credit. Have you ever used those guys?
Yeah.
So yeah, Continental Credit is great. You pay a monthly fee, and they go fight on your behalf to take stuff off your credit report.
I think that would be a pretty cool topic to go through. Is like, how do those credit companies the credit repair companies go about repairing your credit?
I would love to.
They do the opposite of what the
Sponsor?
person, right? They're calling you every day and sending you mail. And so
The
Continental
collection.
Credit calls them every day, sends them shit in the mail. And
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. I think we should definitely dive into that
Cool.
Later. So we've got your monthly spend, so your DTI or your debt to income, so your monthly spend. We've got your FICO score, and we've got
The process is pretty quick and dirty.
We've got your down payment is the next big thing, right?
Yeah.
So we're looking at like 3.5%.
Yeah. That's the minimum that we generally want to shoot for right now.
Right.
That's the FHA minimum. So
Is my mic on? I feel like mine's off now.
I still hear you. I mean,
It's because I'm projecting.
I sound a little bit better than you, but
It could just wow.
there now.
keep going.
Every time someone turns up, someone turns down.
So now I want to jump into your down payment. As we talked about, there's a bunch of different down payment assistance programs and stuff like that.
Yep.
But if we're not dealing with any, like, just normal, straightforward, we're looking at 3.5% down being your lowest. Obviously, the more you put down, the lower your payment's going to be. The safer the lender feels about giving you all this money, and your chances of paying it back are probably better. But 3.5 is the bottom there, pretty much. And so if you've got,
Can we talk about gifting real quick?
you sure can, dude. Yes.
How much can I can't remember. Is there a gifting max? And what are the gifting limits?
So there actually is no gifting limit, right? The federal government has a $15,000 limit on gifts that you can give without penalty.
That's tax penalty over the year.
Yeah, over 1 year.
Yeah.
So if you're married and you have a parent, the parent can give you $15,000 and can give your wife $15,000, and each parent can do that, right? So, if they want to give you $60,000, each one of them can give 15 to you and 15 to your wife. Really, and if it's like, hey, I'm just going to give my son $300,000 for a down payment. One, lenders don't report to the IRS that gift that you just got, right?
Well, there's an $11 million lifetime right now.
So
too.
that's what it is. Yeah. That's where I was going. You can get early inheritance. Like, your parent can say, hey, this money's
lifetime. Yeah.
This money's all going to go to my son in the end. So I just want to do an early inheritance and give it to them. There's like one sheet that you file with the IRS.
Yeah. Sorry, segue.
Don't even trip, dude. I like it.
Love that. That's only thing that you
Because
need
it's something
to
we
be.
we don't talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm sure you as a lender talk about it.
Most days.
Yeah.
Yeah. But really the big thing for gifting is
Not
it
that we
has
don't
to be
talk
a
about
family
it. I think
member.
that the general public doesn't think about it.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say.
Yeah. But to get a gift, it has to come from a family member. That is the only real rule. You can't go and say, hey, my friend Bob's going to give me money. And no, Bob can't give you money. That doesn't work. So.
but I think that brings us kind of wraps it all up. I mean, that kind of points out like there's so many different ways that you can go about this, and you have to work with a guy who's thinking outside the box and who's dealt with all these different situations before, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, if you don't have the FICO score, but you have the down payment and the DTI or the monthly spend, how do we fix that? Let's, you know, come and talk to us, and we'll help you. We'll point you in the right direction to fix your FICO score. Your FICO score is an 800, and your monthly spend is all right. But how do we save to get that down payment, right? Or where can we get that down payment from? Is it a down payment assistance? Is it
gift?
Is it a gift? Is it, you know, something like that? So
Yeah.
oftentimes, I don't even know if I've said this today, but I say it a lot. So I probably said it today, but you're probably closer to buying than you think.
Yeah.
It's incredible the amount of people that I talk to, like my buddies that are like, or my brother's buddies, or, you know, anybody I run into, they're like, man, I'd love to buy. I'm just not ready yet. I'm just not ready yet.
And that's
when are you ready?
That's really
you're
the
actually
big
closer than
takeaway,
you think,
right?
I bet.
Because what ends up happening is people go, oh, I don't make enough money. I don't have enough saved. When really, if you're trying to get into your starter home, you don't need to make a ton of money. You don't need a ton of money saved. So if you're trying to get into a townhome, a condo, a $350,000 to $400,000 home that's your starter home, you don't need to be at this level where you can make it, right? You can have a little bit lower credit score, less money in the bank, less money coming in every month, and still qualify, and that puts you on a track to get to where you want to be throughout your lifetime.
I think my closing statement is if you are interested and want to own a home, you need to talk to somebody that can answer these questions for you.
Most
and
definitely.
the three of us are those guys.
Right.
But if it's not us, right, talk to somebody that can answer these questions for you to see if we can make your dream come true.
Hey,
right? Like,
dreams coming true.
yeah. It's that easy.
We're like this.
It really is, dude. It really is. So I think that kind of wraps up the first part of the buying process, figuring out the financial side, right? You're probably closer than you think.
Yeah.
There's 3 different like major factors that we need to worry about when you're getting approved for a loan. I mean, there's other stuff, but those are the big 3, right?
Yeah.
I think we'll talk about like shopping next, which is like my most fun part of the whole experience. And then
We've been talking a lot about that the past couple days. So.
we'll probably get into negotiations.
Should probably talk about why
Reverse
is it good?
burner?
I don't know why I said that.
All right, should we wrap it up?
Yeah, dude. So hit us back, and yeah, that's all I got.
Awesome. Thanks,
Perfect. Thanks.
Calzone out.